Hello friends and a very warm welcome to all of you in this e-learning program that is organized by Shri Gyan Manjay Vidyapit. In our today's session, we are going to cover up the last part of animal tissue. Okay, first of all, welcome to Science by Harsha ma'am. Friends, this is the chart that we are daily doing, and why we are doing it daily? So that you can learn up all the types of animal tissues. Actually it is difficult to learn, but daily if you will listen to what is ma'am saying, then definitely you will be able to memorize it. Now let's have a look at the basic 4 types of animal tissue. In the very first lecture we did about the nervous tissue, alright? The nervous tissue. This one. This content is already over in the very first lecture when the concept of animal tissue was taken, and on that day the nervous tissue was taught to you. After that we did about the muscular tissue. Now what is this muscular tissue? Muscular tissue is the tissue that is responsible for all the muscular system of our body, and it is of how many types? 3 types. Which are those? Striated, non-striated and cardiac. After that we did on next day connective tissues 3 types. Which 3 types? Areolar, adipose and skeletal. Skeletal is further divided into cartilage and bone. Next we saw about the dense connective tissue. What it is? Bifurcated as tendon and ligament. Okay, tendon is joining the muscle in the bone, ligament is joining the bone in the bone. Then about the fluid connective tissue. Fluid connective tissue is of 2 types, that is blood and lymph. As daily we are seeing the video of animal tissue, so that things become clear for us, we'll see the video of animal tissue. After that we will move further on today's type of tissue, that is epithelial tissue. It is of how many types? 5 types. Squamous, cuboidal, columnar, ciliated and glandular. Okay, at the in your brain at least this chart should now be there. Okay, so let's have a look at the animal tissue.
Animal tissues. Almost all animals are made up of tissues. Tissues are groups of cells that are similar in structure and work together to achieve a particular function. Animal tissues are grouped into 4 basic types: epithelial, nervous, muscle and connective tissues. Let's first look at the epithelial tissue. This tissue covers and protects the internal and external surfaces of the animal body. Epithelial tissue is subdivided into simple squamous, stratified squamous, columnar and cuboidal epithelium based on the shape and function of their cells. The simple squamous epithelium is found in the lining of the alveoli and allows transport of small molecules across the membrane. It is extremely thin, flat. Animal tissues. Almost all animals are made up of tissues. Tissues are groups of cells that are similar in structure and work together to achieve a particular function. Animal tissues are grouped into 4 basic types: epithelial, nervous, muscle and connective tissues. Let's first look at the epithelial tissue. This tissue covers and protects the internal and external surfaces of the animal body. Epithelial tissue is subdivided into simple squamous, stratified squamous, columnar, and cuboidal epithelium based on the shape and function of their cells. The simple squamous epithelium is found in the lining of the alveoli and allows transport of small molecules across the membrane. It is extremely thin, flat, and single layered. The stratified squamous epithelium protects areas subject to abrasion and is found in the skin. It is multi-layered. Columnar epithelium acts as an impermeable barrier against any bacteria that could be ingested but is permeable to any necessary ions. It is tall and shaped like a column. Cuboidal epithelium aids in absorption and provides mechanical support. It forms the lining of kidney tubules. It is shaped like a cube. The next tissue type is nervous tissue, which consists of a nerve cell or neuron that has a cell body containing the nucleus. The cell body extends and forms specialized cell parts called dendrites and axons. These are nerve cells that help you retract your hand when you touch a thorn. How does this happen? Nerve cells carry messages, that is, the dendrites bring signals to the cell body and the axon transmits the information to the dendrite of another cell. These nerve impulses allow us to move our muscles when we want to, thus retracting our hand. The brain, spinal cord, and nerves are all composed of nervous tissue. The third tissue type is the muscle tissues that are responsible for the movement in our body. The three types of muscle tissues are skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. The skeletal muscle helps in locomotion and other voluntary body movements. It is made of long fibers with alternate light and dark bands or striations, so skeletal muscles are also called striated muscles. Smooth muscle cells provide involuntary movements such as the contraction of walls. They line the walls of the hollow structures of the body. Smooth muscle cells are found in the intestines and blood vessels. They are spindle-shaped, flat, pointed at both the ends and broad at the middle. The cardiac or heart muscles are involuntary muscle cells that contract and relax throughout life. They are cylindrical, branched, and uninucleated. The final tissue we look at is the connective tissue that binds and supports body parts and transport materials. Connective tissues are subdivided into blood, bone, ligament, cartilage, areolar, and adipose tissue. The blood contains RBC, WBC, and platelets that transport gases and other materials to different parts of the body. Blood has a fluid matrix. Bone cells secrete calcium that hardens the bone and supports the main organs of the body. Bone cells are solid. Ligaments function as a connection between bones. They are fibrous and stretchy. Cartilage protects bones by preventing them from rubbing against each other. It is a tough but flexible tissue. Areolar fills the space inside the organs. It is gel-like with both elastic and non-elastic fibers. Adipose tissues store fat molecules. In conclusion, we have seen and understood the types of animal tissues, their subclassifications, and their functions. Things to remember: animal tissues are grouped into epithelial, nervous, muscle, and connective tissues. Epithelial tissues are subdivided into simple squamous, stratified squamous, columnar, and cuboidal epithelium. The three types of muscle tissues are skeletal, smooth, and cardiac muscles. Cells of the nervous system, called nerve cells, are specialized to carry stimulus from one place to another within the body.
So this is about the all types of tissues. Now, starting towards the epithelial tissues. Today's content. Epithelial tissue, what does it form? It forms the outer covering, the outer layer uh, of the skin. Generally, it is epithelial tissue. It rests on one extra matrix that is called as the basement membrane. Okay, whole of the tissue in all the types of animal tissues, epithelial tissue type of animal tissue, we will see that at the end, in all, there will be a basement membrane. Like over here, here, then over here, then over here, everywhere it will rest on the basement membrane. In each and every type of epithelial tissue, you can see that they are resting on the basement membrane. So, that is about the epithelial tissue. What does it do? It forms the outer covering. Where does it lie on? It lies on one extra layer, that is the basement layer. Then, what is that basement layer made up of? It is made up of glycoprotein and collagen fibers. Once again, what is the matrix made up of? The matrix is made up of glycoprotein and collagen fibers. The matrix is made up of glycoprotein and collagen fibers. The matrix is made up of glycoprotein and collagen fibers. The basement membrane connects epithelial tissue and connective tissue. This is its function, that the basement layer will connect epithelial and connective tissue. Once again, it is forming the outer covering of the any particular part. It is which type of tissue? It is epithelial tissue. Where does it lie on? One extra membrane. What is that extra membrane called as? That extra membrane is called as basement membrane. And what it is made up of? Glycoprotein and collagen fibers. Then what is the basement membrane connecting? It is connecting, this is the basement membrane over here at the end. Here you are having any of the epithelial tissue, here will be any connective tissue. Both of them are binded by this basement membrane. So that is the function of the basement membrane. Now coming to its very important function. It will protect the body against any kind of mechanical injury and pathogen. Any kind of mechanical injury and pathogen. From them, epithelial tissue will help us to get protected. How? Any of the pathogen, whenever it is entering our body, ultimately it has to enter through the skin, and after entering whenever it is entering from the skin, the very first outer part of anything, any organ, it is made up of epithelial tissue. Then ultimately it will not allow most of the times to enter any pathogen. Next, in the lung alveoli, which helps in the diffusion of gas, this is a new term for you, lung alveoli. What is that lung alveoli now? You all are knowing about the basic respiratory system. If I talk about our respiratory system, then in our respiratory system, we are knowing about the lungs. Now, in the lungs, the division occurs in the form of two bronchi. That bronchi gets divided into bronchioles, and that bronchioles get terminated into very small air sacs. Okay, very small air sacs. So the smallest air sac that is responsible for the gaseous exchange. That means carbon dioxide will be given and what will be taken is oxygen. How is the oxygen going and carbon dioxide is coming out? It is helping with the help of the small air sac, and that air sac is called as alveoli. And there, which tissue is present? Epithelial tissue. So, where it is present in lungs. In the lungs, there are two bronchi. Bronchi get divided into bronchioles. In the bronchioles, there are many alveoli, and these alveoli are the air sacs, which will do the gaseous exchange, and ultimately it will allow carbon dioxide to go out, oxygen to come in, and here it is the function. Now, next function. It is there in intestine for absorbing water and digestive food. Then in uriniferous tubules, again, this is normal that intestine you are knowing that food and water is getting absorbed. When you go to your class 10, you will learn about the whole of the digestive process. Do not worry. Okay, so it is helping in absorbing water and digestive food. In uriniferous tubules and in removing waste from the body. This is again a new term for you. Uriniferous tubules. In our kidney, there are number of nephrons present. This nephron is basically responsible for removing all the waste materials, and inside the nephron there are many uriniferous tubules. So uriniferous tubules is ultimately a part of nephron, and nephrons are there in kidney, which are helping in the purification of blood. So here is the epithelial tissue. It forms the outer covering. Always it rests on one extra layer, which is called as basement layer, which is made up of glycoprotein and collagen fibers. Connect epithelial tissue and connective tissue. Then it will protect the body against any entry by pathogen or any other microorganism or any other injury. Then in the lung alveoli for gaseous exchange, then in the intestine for absorbing water or food. Lastly, I taught you about in the uriniferous tubules for removing the waste from the body. Okay, note down the epithelial tissue. After that, we'll move further. Okay, I hope that you have noted the content. Now let's move further on the next type of epithelial tissue. Here it is, the very first type of epithelial tissue, which is squamous epithelial tissue. This tissue is further bifurcated into two types. One is simple squamous, another one is stratified squamous. You can have a look at its structure. From the diagram only, everything becomes very clear. You can see the basement layer over here. Okay, simple squamous, stratified squamous. If we talk about the squamous, this is the surface view. Here, how is the structure? It is very thin, you can see flat, irregular cells. The cell size is not shaped, it's not fixed like. You can see it is a bit irregular. And they are very closely bound to each other. There is no space between them. So this is how its structure is. What is the function of this now? It will protect against the injury in the pathogens and chemicals. So this is where it will help out. It will protect against any kind of injury, against any kind of pathogen and chemicals. Then it helps in the secretion of coelomic fluid. Now you might be thinking, what is this coelomic fluid? So, here it is, the outer layer, inner layer. Outer layer is called as ectoderm. Inner layer is called as endoderm. What is outer layer called as ectoderm? Inner layer endoderm. Between them, there is some fluid which is present over here, in all the space over here. Here totally there is fluid. And all this fluid is what? Ultimately it is fluid which is between the ectoderm and endoderm, and that is called as xylem. What it is called as? Xylem. So this is the fluid which is present between two particular layers, ectoderm and endoderm. So for its secretion, which epithelial tissue is used? It is this. It will protect against the injury, pathogens and chemicals, and it will help in the secretion of the coelomic fluid. Okay, so there are many layers, and in that the two basic layers are ectoderm and endoderm. Between the two layers there is a fluid which is called as xylem, and that xylem is produced by squamous epithelial tissue. Next, it helps in the excretion and gaseous exchange. Then where it is located? It is located in the lining of the blood vessels, in the Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule, again, it is a part of nephron. Then in the lung alveoli and in xylem. Once again, let us have a look at the content that is given over here. What are we talking about? We are talking about epithelial tissue. This epithelial tissue is of how many types over here? Given squamous and in squamous you are having simple and stratified. What are we talking about? We are talking right now about the simple tissue. Simple squamous epithelium tissue. How is the structure? You can see it is the shape is totally irregular and they are bound very tightly to each other. Very closely they are bound to each other. And what is its function? It will protect against any kind of injury, against any chemicals, and well, it will help in the secretion of xylem and in the exchange of the gases. So Exchange of the gases, where does it happen? In the alveoli. Excretion, where does it happen? In the kidney. So a part of kidney, nephron, and its part Bowman's capsule is there. Okay, so this is about its location. See, location and everything, it is like you have to learn only. Okay, because I can only tell you that this is the place where it is present. Learning part is to be done by you. Coming to the stratified squamous epithelium tissue. What does it form? It forms the outer layer. Epidermis means outer layer of skin, buccal cavity, pharynx, vagina. That is, you have studied about it in your class 8 when you were doing reproduction. In that, it is a part of female reproductive system. I hope you remember. Esophagus and anus. Esophagus is the food pipe. Anus is the part from where you are removing all the waste materials. Pharynx, larynx, over here you are having. Okay. So this is about the two, simple squamous and stratified squamous. Alright, just note down the structure, function and location. Be quick. Note it down. I am writing the important points. Wherever is the important point I am noting, you also note it down. Alveoli. Note down these points only for gaseous exchange. small air sacs, in lungs. All right. Then this FRS, female reproductive system, generally called as food pipe. Okay, rest all things you already know. Note down just this important points. Okay, quick, you're having exactly 1 minute now. Then we'll move further on the next type of tissue, next type of animal epithelial tissue. I hope the content is clear. Now let's move further on. The next type of tissue that is given over here, cuboidal. You can see its structure is like cubes. These are simple epithelial. When they form a thin lining, they are called as stratified epithelium. When they form many layer cells. Okay, so like this, when many layered cells are formed of simple epithelium, what does it get converted into? Cuboidal epithelium. Here are about its functions: secretion, excretion, absorption. These are the common terms. Secret means the removal of maybe any type of fluid, any gas. Excretion, removal of all the waste materials. Absorption, taking something inside. Formation of gametes. This is again a new term for you. Gamete. Okay, so you might be thinking that what is this gamete? The gametes are the reproductions that are present in the body of the male and female. In short, they are called as the sex cells. Then, where they are present, this is the location in the thyroid, vesicles, salivary and pancreatic ducts, terminal layers of the sex organs, and in the sweat glands. This particular diagram is already given in your textbook. Only mention this because this is not given. Some of the important words I'll teach you. Be quick, then we shall move further. Okay? Now, the next type of tissue, that is columnar tissue. You can see columnar tissue, it is looking like this. Columns are arranged in this. When looked at from the top, it appears as polygonal, and in the sectional view it appears to be the squares. What is its function? Its function is in the protection secretion of mucus, in the absorption of the nutrients and water in the intestine. Again, very important part over here in the intestine, the food and minerals, whatever are getting absorbed, important one, that is with the help of this columnar epithelial tissue. Coming to its location, inner lining of stomach, intestine, gallbladder, again it is a part of stomach, our digestive system only. In covering the layer of epiglottis, here there is a glottis and epiglottis, a flip like thing. So there you are from which is separating the food pipe and the windpipe. So there you are having the epiglottis. Okay, this is about the columnar. Note it down quick. Now, the next type of tissue, ciliated. Meaning of the word cilia is hair-like structure. Here also, how it is very compactly arranged. You can see very nearby they are arranged. Tall column shaped, and they are having microvilli. Okay, what is the main function of villi? It increases the surface area and helps in absorption. Alright, and then coming to the next part, where what are the functions? It will help in the movement of the mucus in the cerebrospinal fluid. Again, this is a new terminology for you. Cerebrospinal fluid. Fluid which is present in brain. That helps the brain from any kind of mechanical shock. Then it helps in the formation of urine, sperms and ova. Where it is present? It is present in sperm ducts. This sperm duct is a part of male reproductive system. Uriniferous tubules, part of nephron, that is present in kidney. Alright. Then over here, oviduct. It is a part of female reproductive system. Note down these points. Then we'll move further. Now the next type of tissue and the last type of epithelial tissue. It is glandular connective tissue, glandular epithelial animal tissue. How it is? It is cuboidal or columnar. The cells are bearing cilia on the free surface. That means, as you can see over here, it is having this hair-like structure, and they are modified form of columnar cells. Okay. Next is, it helps in the formation of multicellular secretory glands that help to secrete oil, sweat, hormones and enzymes. So for the secretion of oil, sweat, hormones and enzymes, it is this glandular epithelial tissue, where it is present in the lining of the gastric glands. In pancreas, again it is a part of our digestive system. Near stomach only, and in the intestinal glands. Okay, so note down this one word. Then we'll have a quick recap on all 5 types of epithelial tissue. Be quick. Just one word: digestive system. I hope it's clear. Alright. Now a quick look on whole of the epithelial tissue. We started with this, that it is forming the extra covering. Where does it lie? On the basement membrane. What is the basement membrane made up of? It is made up of glycoprotein and collagen fibers. And what it will do? It will connect the epithelial tissue and connective tissue. It will protect the body against any kind of mechanical injury, and it is helping in the lung alveoli for the diffusion of the gas, in intestine for absorbing water and digestive food, in uriniferous tubules for removing waste from the body. Now comes the part that you have to learn a lot, and I can only explain you this content. I cannot make you learn. You have to revise it again and again, especially this part. Squamous, it is simple and stratified. What is its structure? Thin, flat, and they are very closely bound. What is its function? It will help in the protection against injury, pathogen, and make formation of the coelomic fluid. Then where it is present, whatever is its function, from that only you can write about its location. Alright. Alveoli, because it's the gaseous exchange. Then coelomic fluid, so it is present in the coelom. So this is about how you can just correlate the two things. Where is the location of the stratified epithelial tissue? It is present in the epidermis of the skin, that means in the outer layer, in the buccal cavity, in the pharynx, vagina and esophagus. Coming to the next particular type of tissue, that is cuboidal tissue. Okay, more than this, important is this too. It helps in the secretion, excretion and absorption. Also in the formation of the gametes, that is the sex cells. Thyroid, vesicles, salivary and pancreatic ducts, terminal layer of sex organs and sweat glands. These are the places where it is present in our body. Then columnar epithelial tissue. These are arranged like this as shown over here. What is its function? It will help in the protection, secretion of mucus and absorption of the nutrients. Or where it is located in the inner lining of the stomach, intestine, gallbladder, in the epiglottis, and epiglottis, it is a flip-like structure over here. Then it is ciliated. Movement of the mucus, cerebrospinal fluid which is present in the brain, in the urine, sperms and ova. Then next, sperm ducts, uriniferous tubules, oviducts and respiratory tract. These are the places where ciliated epithelial tissue is found out. Then the last one, that is glandular. Over here you need to remember it is helping in the secretion of oil, sweat, hormones and enzymes present in the linings of the gastric glands, pancreas and intestinal glands. Okay, so that's all for the content of the day. Thank you so much students for listening to me, and have a very good day. In our next particular session we will revise the whole animal tissue. So we'll have animal tissue at glance in the next lecture. Today learn this content very well. Alright, thank you so much for listening to me. Have a very good day. Bye bye.